kills it. And they prioritise the killing of the ant which refuses to share over the killing of ants from the other ant colony of which they are at war. That is how important it is for ants to share their food with each other. What we see down here, we've got, this is essentially an ant city. This entire thing was an ant colony. You can see people walking around inside it. Ants, they might not be the strongest or the smartest or the most poisonous of insects, but they are the most successful because they practice mutual aid and they work together more effectively than any other insects. And when you study the social interactions of ants, it's actually not very hierarchical. There's a lot of individual initiative in how the group operates. This here we have the main man himself, Peter Kropotkin. Got a Kropotkin in the room? Anyone want to be Kropotkin?
I, Peter Kropotkin.
Boom.
It is evident that societies would be utterly impossible without a corresponding development of social feelings, and especially of a certain collective sense of justice growing to become a habit. If every individual were constantly abusing its personal advantages without the others interfering in favour of the wronged, no society life would be possible, and feelings of justice developed more or less with all gregarious animals.
Boom. So this is Kropotkin's great claim that the sense of justice that we feel is not primarily cultural or like conditioned into it. That a sense of justice is a biological thing. It comes from biology, it's in our DNA, and it's been produced by evolution because it's necessary to mutual aid, which is the most effective way of surviving. And I just talked about how ants administer justice. And yeah, mutual aid, helping each other, is not always pretty and lovely, and the lion lying down with the lamb. Here we have an ant up close. We got ants taking out a scorpion, taking out a wasp, taking out a lizard.
Cool.
Ants devour everything because they work together. That is what mutual aid can do for you. Charles Darwin. We've had some real radicals here. Anyone want to be the rather posher Charles Darwin?
The brain of the ant is one of the most marvellous atoms of matter in the world. Perhaps more so than the brain of man, Charles Darwin.
There we go. Think how small an ant's brain is, and think, how ants can organise and the stuff that they can do. So on to birds. We've got a colony of birds all living together there. You can see the birds. They group together. The V formation actually allows birds get a little updraft from the flapping of the wings of the other birds. That's why they move in that formation. It saves effort. Flying together helps them to make long journeys. And when they act together, birds can terrify even nature's ultimate super predator. And as Kropotkin said about the sense of justice, if you have a bird in one of these colonies that decides it's going to thieve the sticks from the nests of another bird, the other birds will all intervene and enact justice, because otherwise you couldn't have a colony of birds living together and being together, which protects them against predators and gives them all sorts of advantages. And here we have, while mutual aid is primarily between animals of the same species, you see here mutual aid between animals of different species. We have the massive herd of wildebeests and the massive herd of zebras, and they both migrate together, or at least they come together to cross the river, because very large numbers of animals crossing the river means that it's much more difficult for crocodiles to eat the animals crossing. Mutual aid keeps you alive. And Peter Kropotkin once more. Anyone want to be Kropotkin?
While fully admitting that force, swiftness, protective colours, cunningness and endurance to hunger and cold which are mentioned by Darwin and Wallace are so many qualities making the individual or the species the fittest under certain circumstances, we maintain that under any circumstances sociability is the greatest advantage in the struggle for life. Peter Kropotkin.
Boom. Yeah, so it's also another simplistic picture of nature that's often painted is that, you know, life starts out at a low level and it just gets better and better through the process of evolution. But this isn't quite true because you evolve to suit your environment, and the environment is always changing. Nature is a dynamic system, so during an ice age, like a thick coat of fur might be, you know, what is good for survival, but then the ice age ends and the climate changes, and suddenly like a thick coat of fur is not that good anymore. But mutual aid, it's so flexible and it's so useful for so many different things that, yeah, what Kropotkin said, that under any circumstances, or overall circumstances, mutual aid is the single most effective thing in promoting survival and success at evolution. Okay, elephants. You know, people often talk about, the lion, the king of the jungle, but what's a lion to an elephant? Like, elephants will just absolutely batter a lion. They have no natural predators. If any animal is top in Africa, it is elephants. They've got a very low birth rate, but you know, other than which does keep their numbers down. But apart from that, you know, they're incredibly intelligent creatures and very sociable. And yeah, you know, lions, tigers, like, don't have a chance against elephants. And here we have hyenas, which are the most intelligent hypercarnivore. That is an animal that mostly eats meat. Hyenas are savage beasts. They kill their siblings so they can get more of mummy's milk. You won't find anything more savage than a hyena. But they live in enormous social groups of up to 100. The social organisation of hyenas is most comparable to that of primates. Your status in hyena society is not determined by how big you are. It's not determined by how aggressive you are. It's determined by your ally networks, by who's got your back. So even among the most savage of animals, it is mutual aid, it is working together that is what leads to like status and reproducing and passing on your genes. And once more, Peter Kropotkin, quite a long one this time. Anyone fancy having a stab at this?
Alright, try, but I don't know my answer how it's gonna be, alright?
Cool, go.
As to the intellectual faculty, well, every Darwinist will agree with Darwin that it is the most powerful arm in the struggle for life, and the most powerful for further evolution. He'll also agree that intelligence is an eminent social faculty. Language, imitation, and accumulated experience are so many elements of growing intelligence, of which the unsociable animal is deprived. The fittest are those the most sociable animals, and sociability appears as the chief factor of evolution, both directly by securing the well-being of the species, while diminishing the waste of energy, and indirectly by favoring the growth of the intelligence. Peter Kropotkin.
Awesome. What's Kropotkin saying here? No one?
Socialising, skill sharing, through various means, so it would be language, imitation, like basically like learning from social cues from others, maybe, and like becoming more aware as a group, so then that intelligence spreads quicker by sharing your skills.
Yeah, yeah, but there's a very clear link between intelligence and mutual aid. Those animals which practice the most mutual aid are the most intelligent, like ants are the most intelligent insects, and so forth. Yeah, that the evolution of intelligence and the evolution of mutual aid go together. We're going to be talking in a bit about the language faculty, how like language sort of structures the brain, and it's the development of human intelligence, how bound up that was with the development of what the language faculty. Once more, we looked at Africa and the land in the sea. This is an orca and a great white shark. Great white shark, you know, again, the beastliest killing machine. But they don't stand a chance against the more intelligent, the more sociable orcas. Orcas have figured out that if you flip a great white shark on its back, it causes a rush of serotonin to the brain, which like paralyzes the shark. The shark stops swimming, which means it stops breathing, which means it drowns. And I mean, there's a video on YouTube that you can find. There's a lone orca with like her 2 babies, and you can see like the communication between the orcas, that the mother isn't scared, she's just excited. She's just like, "Hey kids, look at this." She goes and like tips over the great white shark, and shows them how to do it. Among orcas, people who've studied them have identified what they call different cultures, where orcas, they learn skills throughout their lives and they pass these skills on, and they're in certain parts of the world the orcas know how to do certain things which they don't in other parts of the world. They have they have culture. Again, cetaceans like orcas, dolphins, these are well, it's quite hard to gauge, are they more or less intelligent than primates, but excluding primates, definitely the smartest animals out there, and you know, massively into the practice of mutual aid. This is a bonobo.